Controversy over a tax proposal in the south suburbs. Some lawmakers are questioning whether the money will be spent properly.
Thornton Township trustees expressing concerns about that proposal moving forward. Dane Placco joining us live with what is giving them pause. Dane?
Yeah, a large group of South suburban mayors have now banded together to urge their constituents to vote no on a referendum that would give Thornton Township and its controversial supervisor Tiffany Henyard nearly $3 million in new funding. How many of the villages do you think are opposed to this?
The majority of them.
All of them.
All of them?
All the ones that signed.
This afternoon, we met with the mayors of Markham, Homewood, and East Hazelcrest, who are among 11 South suburban mayors who signed that letter urging their residents to vote no to giving Thornton Township more money. It comes in the form of a referendum on next week's primary ballot that asks taxpayers whether they support a 0.15% property tax increase for the township that would go for mental health services. If approved, it would raise nearly $3 million in new taxes, roughly $200 a year for a home worth $200,000. But the mayors say Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard has not explained exactly how that money will be spent. And they point to our reporting on Henyard's spending both as Township Supervisor and as the Mayor of Dolton, including thousands of dollars for trips out of town, using police for a personal security detail, massive amounts of credit card spending, and public tax dollars funneled into a charity in her own name.
That would be something that my constituents would ask me, is that, Mayor, can you explain what this is about? And we would communicate about that.
Do you know what it's about?
No, I don't.
How much money is going to actually be generated? Where's the mental health facility going to go? And what actually are they going to do? She's never communicated to any mayor that I'm aware of. And that's...
Tiffany, the world wants to know, what are you going to do with that money? What are you going to do with it all?
Hey everybody, this is Van Silk coming to you from the Black Cultural Network. Here we go again with Tiffany Henyard, the crooked mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and the supervisor of the township of Thornton. It's sad how she's just ruining the lives of people, allegedly stealing money which the trustees have said she stole. She won't cooperate in everything that's going on. I covered this for the last 8-9 months. I like to say, shout out to popular YouTuber Tommy G for going to the village of Dolton to see what's going on. Later on in this episode, we will play him being down in Dolton, his civil rights and rights being violated by Chief Lacey. And it's sad, you know, and he created a fundraiser that we're going to get the information on later on this episode. But please check out what's going on right now. And I'll be right back, and we'll bring in Tommy G sooner than you think. This is the Black Culture Network with Van the Man.
Disturbing allegations against the mayor of Dolton and an unnamed village trustee. We've learned the Illinois Department of Human Rights is investigating complaints of sexual harassment and retaliation. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been poring over the documents in the case, and you're here now with what they reveal. Regina?
Stephen, Marion, a few days ago, NBC5 obtained complaints filed with the Department of Human Rights through a Freedom of Information request. Now, they're filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village of Dolton and Thornton Township. A former female employee who was Henyard's assistant alleges retaliation, sexual harassment, and discrimination after she raised concerns about an apparent non-consensual sexual encounter between her and an unnamed village trustee. The Dolton police officer says in a separate complaint filed with the Department of Human Rights that he also faced retaliatory actions for coming forward with what he witnessed. The incident allegedly occurred during an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. On that trip, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a handful of village representatives, including her former assistant who filed this complaint with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, and 2 village trustees. We're not naming the woman because NBC5 does not name people who possibly were a victim of an unwanted sexual encounter. According to her complaint, the woman says she went to dinner with an unnamed Dolton trustee. The complaint then recounts the following events. After dinner, she says she started to feel disoriented, extremely lightheaded, as if the ground was moving. She says she blacked out. According to the complaint, the next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. She says after returning to Dolton, Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Henyard's security detail and went on the trip to Vegas, told her a trustee on the trip told him that the trustee had unprotected sex with her. Officer Miles has also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. The woman states in her complaint that after she was told this, she went immediately to seek medical care. Both complaints then provide details of a meeting which took place the following day with the former assistant, Officer Miles, and Mayor Henyard. At this meeting, the woman informed Henyard that she would never willingly have sex with the trustee. Officer Miles informed Henyard and the woman that the trustee called him that night in Vegas. The trustee, he says, then bragged about the sexual activities he engaged in with the woman, Miles' complaint says, suggesting that she may have not had the ability to consent or did not provide consent. According to the complaint, Officer Miles recorded some of this conversation on his iPhone. According to the complaints, the mayor said that if this information became public, she would be ruined.
I'm back. Yes, Tiffany Henyard, the corrupt city girl mayor Tiffany Henyard, and Chief Lacey and others have destroyed the town and village of Dolton, Illinois. This young lady that's trying to help the community, Dr. Scott, who created a pantry for food, Pampers, everything for the community. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor won't give her a permit to come up with all kinds of excuses for her not to open the strip mall. That's a whole nother story. So YouTuber Tommy G has created a YouTube channel, not a YouTube channel, a GoFundMe page for her, which I'm going to include in the link for Dr. Scott. It's very important that we pay attention to what's going on with Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, because this is a preview if Donald Trump ever becomes in office. This is what we will be faced with in America. A narcissist, a dictator. Y'all check out this segment here, and I'll be back, and then I'll bring you the Tommy G episode. Fair use, Tommy. We all need, we got to get this woman out of office, one way or the other.
Of South Suburban Dolton reacting to a Fox 32 investigation that found a new village employee with a dangerous criminal past.
He is a registered child sex offender, and he's now been hired by the village to go into people's homes and businesses.
Now, furious village trustees are taking steps to curb the mayor's power. Fox 32's Dane Placco broke the story, and he has the latest from Dolton.
What is the situation involving your background? Well, my background, a childhood background, over 30 years ago.
46-year-old Lavelle Redmond wasn't happy to see us when we encountered him today behind Dolton Village Hall. But listen again to the person on the phone telling him to stop talking.
30 years ago.
We don't know who that is, but we do know who got Redmond his village job. Redmond is close to new Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and worked on her campaign. Records obtained by Fox 32 show that on September 20th, Redmond was hired as a code enforcement officer for the village of Dolton, a job that gives him access inside homes and businesses, which is why Dolton residents were shocked when we showed them what we found online.
Oh my God. Don't they supposed to do background checks before they allow these people in these kind of positions?
One would think, right?
Yes.
That's because Redmond is listed as a child sex offender on the Illinois State Police Registry. He served 24 years of a 50-year sentence for taking part in the brutal gang rape and beating of 2 young girls in the Roseland neighborhood in 1991. News reports at the time say Redmond was one of 4 young men who kidnapped the girls and took them to an abandoned garage where they were sexually assaulted and beaten with boards and guns.
I would be terrified to know now if he had come to my house to do a code inspection. I would be terrified.
That's crazy. I don't know. He won't get in my house, though.
Dolton trustees say Redmond was hired directly by Mayor Henyard and her village administrator, former Cook County Circuit Court Clerk Dorothy Brown. Did the trustees have any input in this hire?
No, the trustees have not had any input on any hire since the swearing in of this administration.
We tried talking to Mayor Henyard, but a police officer in front of her home told us we couldn't knock on the door. Later, the mayor issued a statement. I and the village of Dolton take the safety of our residents very serious, and we would never put our residents in jeopardy. In regard to the matter of the employee who's the subject of recent news stories, know that the incident referred to occurred nearly 30 years ago, and they paid their debt to society. We believe that a person can be rehabilitated, and we believe in second chances.
You know, I'm for second chances, but the fact that he's on the registry and the fact that he's going inside of homes, that's what caused an alarm and caused concern for me in regards to my safety and the rest of the residents.
In Dolton, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
So as you see, Tiffany Henyard is crooked. Keith Freeman, the financier, is crooked. Chief Lacey is crooked. He got 3 cases against him. But right now, we're going to go into Tommy GMG. 31 minutes of him being in Dolton, Illinois. His rights being violated. And everything that comes with it. Tommy G, fair use, brother. Just want to let you know, we're glad you went on the ground to go and investigate what was going on in Dolton and Thornton, Illinois, with this city girl mayor, Tiffany Henyard. This is Van the Man, the Black Cultural Network. Support my channel. And I'll see you later. Tommy G.
Sir, can you explain to us a little bit?
I wanna, you guys step over there on public property.
The goons have come out. Tommy G, they call me. Milwaukee representative. Hello folks, I'm Tommy G. Today we're looking into the most corrupt mayor in America, allegedly. The mayor, is she a hero or a villain?
No.
We're in a town with potentially one of the most corrupt mayors in America. We're still looking, but this is just for videotaping. Look how many police they brought out here. Are you gonna get in your vehicle? I'll get in mine, you get in yours? One day while scrolling through TikTok, I was assaulted by a barrage of videos covering Dolton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard. She refers to herself as the super mayor as well as the most powerful woman in Chicago's South Side. But does she use her power for good? People on the internet and in her own community have been calling her the most corrupt mayor in America, and here are some of the things she's been accused of. Stripping business licenses away from people that don't contribute to her charity, pay-for-play kickbacks and bribes, taking lavish first-class trips on the taxpayer dime, making the city pay for her own personal ice skating rink, using the taxpayer money as a marketing budget for self-promotion for things like 122 billboards with her face on it, and using tens of thousands of taxpayer money dollars per month to hire a PR firm that's designed to clean up her image. And I'll give her this, her image is tough to clean up. Here's some more reasons why. She double dips as both the mayor of Dolton and the village of Thornton Township supervisor, and she's made it so that if she's not re-elected as supervisor, the incoming person would receive a 90% pay cut. She's racked up credit card debt like she's trying to set a record, and she tells the residents things like better have my money and compares herself to Martin Luther King. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's alleged that she rolls around like a crime boss. Some people claim that she's even gone as far as having the cars of people that oppose her shot up to intimidate them. She rolls around in a convoy of extensive private security, of course on the taxpayer dollar, and it's said that she has the police force in her pocket partly due to the outrageous amounts of overtime she allows her officers to be paid. Again, on the taxpayer dollar. I hope you're noticing the theme here. Unfortunately for Tiffany and her police chief lapdog, Officer Louis Lacey, I have in my possession receipts, disciplinary forms, documents, and insider information that we will be diving into in great detail today. Folks, this channel does not stand for bullies, and by the end of my expose, I'm sure you'll draw the conclusion that Tiffany, Officer Lacey, and their cronies are not only bullies of the worst kind, but an absolute disgrace to the title of public servant. The FBI is currently investigating her, so I hope she gets to see this video, but I'm not sure what the Wi-Fi situation is in Cook County Jail. Let's begin the episode.
First day out and back to work like shit ain't nothing happened. Was gone 190 some days, but shit I'm back in action. Pull on this block and put my gloves on just like Michael Jackson.
Hopefully, folks, if you're watching this right now, you have the privilege of living in a democracy. And if you live in a democracy, that means that you've elected people that should represent you and have your best interest at heart. Right now in the United States, we have a crisis with our politicians. There's an awful lot of people that are abusing their positions of power to enrich themselves and to you, the citizen. You can look at the national level where we have people like Tommy Tuberville, Nancy Pelosi, U.S. senators and Congress people that, while being full-time politicians, are also somehow the best stock traders we've ever seen. They're outperforming Wall Street. Today, folks, we look at it at a local level. We're looking at the most corrupt mayor in America. And I have to say allegedly, because this mayor, Tiffany Henyard, she likes using the legal system. People that don't agree with her or speak out against her. She has a lot of cases that have been filed.
Y'all should be ashamed of y'all, y'all black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman.
I want to avoid being dragged into court by her. So I'm gonna say this is all alleged. This is all my opinion. And we'll let the FBI, who's also in town right now, determine the facts of the case. We're speaking to a lot of people, angry, upset, and ready to speak out against this mayor for all the egregious things she's allegedly done. So folks, let's pull up, let's hit the streets, and let's dive into this story.
Let go of the purse, but I can't be without it. Couldn't think, couldn't even eat, couldn't even sleep without it. They locked my dog up for an M and I don't wanna speak about it.
Mayor Tiffany, hero or villain?
She's a villain. She really don't be doing nothing for us. She tried to make a big show, a big act, but she's not doing stuff that really needs to be done.
We heard that the FBI is in town looking into her.
They are.
What is she allegedly guilty of, do you think?
Stealing that money. Because you know her family work with her. Most likely she's stealing money and giving it to her family and using it for herself instead of giving it to the people that actually need it. And she be having her names all on the trucks and stuff. Like, it be everywhere.
Bills obtained by Fox 32 under open records laws shows Thornton Township paid more than $10,000 for the vinyl signs themselves.
If you could speak with her directly, anything you would say to Tiffany?
Do better.
Do you know the mayor, Tiffany?
Yeah.
Hero or villain?
Villain! He's a gangster.
Pulling up to the administration building where we're meeting trustees, people that are our public servants and want to speak out against her. Let's see who we have gathered. So Mayor Tiffany, hero or villain?
From what I know, villain. Her security guards is getting like 300 hours on their checks and stuff.
The officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without overtime is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours. And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000.
How does a person put in a 2-week pay period, 303 hours? That's impossible.
How are you securing somebody in your sleep? How are you getting 300 hours so you know that she's pulling money from somewhere? I don't know where. She's not pulling out her butt, so clearly we know this from something.
I'm rocking some new attire, okay? RIP mainstream media. They've tried attacking me, this channel, because we stand for truth and actually talking to people. So you want to join the resistance, join the movement, link is in the description. And I'm actually going to FaceTime 3 people that buy it in the next 48 hours. I'm picking 3 of you to FaceTime, talk to you, connect to you. So join the movement, link in description. What do you expect of a mayor when you elect them? What kind of behavior do you expect?
Leadership, inclusiveness.
What is a trustee?
The governing body. We maintain the finances, amend, and make laws for the community.
Now, if she does indeed go to prison for this, will you be putting any money on her commissary?
No. She's using the police as her scapegoat to intimidate, retaliate. People speak against her. They're giving people tickets. It's just a lot of stuff that's
The police are in her pocket?
Yes.
Are they on her payroll or what?
Police are payroll.
Do you think she's a hero or a villain?
A villain. She is spending all the Village of Dolton tax dollars and Thornton Township, which is part of the Village of Dolton.
This is Valeria Stubbs, a vocal critic of the mayor who believes her home was shot up at the request of the mayor, stemming from a bitter feud they had last summer. Asked if she believed that Henyard was behind the shooting, Stubbs did not hesitate. Absolutely, she told the New York Post.
We have some of the highest taxes, property taxes in the Southland, and because we have a food desert out here, lack of businesses, we need all the tax dollars that we can get. She created Greenwood Falls ice skating rink that is never open, that does not generate any revenue whatsoever.
And it's your mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. We're finally in the second phase of Greenwood Falls. And remember, we do this for you residents because we care. You come first.
I saw a video where she was in the ice rink having a party.
Only when she's having something is the ice skating rink open.
So she basically has a personal ice rink that she's funded through taxpayer dollars and gets to use for her own parties.
Yes. When she went to a board meeting and dressed as Nino Brown, said that the residents blink better have her money.
What's being referred to right now is the town hall meeting when Mayor Tiffany walked in dressed as Nino Brown from the movie New Jack City with the Rihanna song playing in the background, better have my money, as a message to her residents.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me.
What she fails to realize is that that is not her money, that is the taxpayer money. But this is much bigger than Mayor Tiffany. This is a larger trend around the country of public servants and institutions showing that they have no regard where our money goes or how they piss it away. For example, the Department of Defense has failed their audit the last 10 years in a row and are unable to account for up to $3.1 trillion worth of assets. They are accountable to us. We fund them. So my question to them is, where is our money? And they need to answer that. There's two sides of this. There's the township and the village, and she kind of double dips. She's the mayor of the...
She's the mayor of the village.
She's the mayor of the village, and she's also a supervisor
for the Dolton Township.
And combined, her income from this job is...
I say over $300,000 a year because she get perks too.
But she would make it that if the next person that gets elected would get $25,000, right? So that's a kind of way to ice out the competition.
She was appointed to that position, not elected. If she was elected to that position, that salary would go down, and I believe it was approximately $50,000.
The FBI is in town. Do you think Tiffany knows she's cooked, or do you think she thinks she's innocent, or what do you think?
I really don't think that she thinks she's going to jail. I'm also a former Cook County Sheriff for the Department of Correction, and I suggest that she go and take a tour of that facility so she can see what's in store for her.
That's, folks, you don't need to be a corrupt mayor to need a lawyer. Is it fair to say that Mayor Tiffany probably needs a good lawyer?
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Everyone needs a lawyer. Everyone should have a lawyer in their back pocket. I have lawyers in my circle and they're very helpful. Here's why. Life can happen. One day you can be walking down the street and you get hit by a car. You get attacked by a dog. In situations like these, you need a lawyer. You can check out Morgan & Morgan. They are the nation's largest personal injury firm. One of their victories in the last couple months was winning a Philadelphia client $26 million. Do you want a pipsqueak lawyer that gets the smallest amount possible from the insurance company, or do you want a big dog that walks in there, puffs his chest out and says, give my client his damn money? I know which one I would go with. It takes seconds to start your claim and your injury could be worth millions. Their link is in my pinned comments. Mayor Tiffany, hero or villain?
Villain.
How is Tiffany doing with taxpayer money?
I don't have enough information, and that kind of goes to the root of the problem. There isn't much transparency. There isn't much back and forth as far as, you know, hey, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, things of that nature. But then it also goes into different things like types of accommodations and things, and I know a lot of people have heard things about that as far as, like, you know,
you don't need to be in the Bellagio
exactly.
penthouse.
If you're going to get the stipend, then you use it for your meals, you use it for your transportation and things like that. You don't go then and put everything on, say, the township credit card.
They say if you want to find the truth, the best way to do it is to follow the money. So we obtained the Thornton Township credit card statements through a Freedom of Information Act request and got to digging. When we looked through these, we noticed that Tiffany herself does not have a credit card. However, another one of her lapdogs, Thornton Township and Village of Dolton Administrator Keith Freeman, has made some awfully sus purchases in the last year. Take, for example, a round-trip flight from Chicago to DC. Despite an economy ticket running about $200, Tiffany and Keith booked flights on the Thornton taxpayer dollar for $1,265 each. That's first class, folks. Another set of transactions is the Bliss Beauty, a local hair salon. $565 on January 16th, $1,225 on February 3rd, and $1,735 on February 19th of 2023. Now, my question for Keith and his purchase of $5,400 on beauty supplies is, are these wigs for you? And if that case, slay queen, or are you secretly buying wigs for Mayor Tiffany and running up the taxpayer dollar for her? Next, let's talk dining. Mayor Tiffany and her comrades love spending money on extravagant meals, like $427 at Theo's Steak and Seafood and $426 at Hamada of Japan are just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, in the first two billing periods of 2023, Keith Freeman spent $5,900 towards meals on the Thornton Township card. Which begs the question, folks, is this illegal or merely unethical? Because to me, a public servant should not be balling out on the taxpayer dime. The question of legality is not for me to decide. I'll let the FBI handle that one. Let's just say Tiffany watches this video and you could say a message directly to her. What would you want to say?
Just resign. Just leave. Let me do my job.
If you're gonna be a public servant, you better act like it or get the hell out. I'll see you in jail.
I would like for you to repent for the sins that you have done or go to jail.
We've gone through all this where there's no transparency, seen where money's been misspent, unfortunately. It's beyond something I think that could be repaired and fixed at this time. It's time to go.
Pulling up to a strip mall to talk to a business owner, Dr. Scott, that has been screwed by the mayor. Let's see what she has to say. Next we meet Dr. Scott, who recently bought a strip mall in Dolton. She's trying to bring much needed services to the community, like a free food bank that functions like a grocery shop, but she's struggling against Mayor Tiffany's attempts to drown her out. Everyone I asked about Dr. Scott says she's like a saint and can't believe this is happening to her. Let's meet her and hear her story. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. We're a nonprofit organization. We acquired this entire strip mall to bring additional programs and services to not just Dolton, but the Southland of Cook County. The shelves aren't full now, but by tomorrow we will have all the shelves full, and the numbers indicate how much of each item they can have. This area here, when we purchased the property, the idea was to open up, a thrift store to give people access to quality items. We have not been able to do that.
How long has this been sitting vacant for?
July.
And you still have to pay property taxes.
Yes.
You still have to pay rent. You still have to pay overhead, insurance, all of that.
I still have mortgage. I still have insurance. I do partner with other organizations that give me volunteers, but I do have a small team that we have to pay payroll because we still function. We still try to serve the community by having the grocery store available.
If this isn't able to be funded, whose pocket does it come out of right now?
Mine.
Cities can have layers of bureaucracy that keep you from running your business and making money. And the longer that they keep this vacant, the longer that you have to foot the bill, and the longer that they cost their own people. This in particular makes me mad because when you see someone actually willing to take a risk like she is and they're preventing her from doing it, it's not a good thing.
All of this space is to expand the grocery store. Right now it's just being used as storage. Now this room here is when we're able to do a pop-up fundraiser. We have things that have been donated to us that we sell to the community. All the clothes and things you see are $1, shoes are $2.
Wow.
I received a letter from the village telling me that I needed to have these 6 things in order for them to even begin to think about giving me permits. And that package was architectural drawings, which I've already submitted to the village, but they want to have a state certification stamp on those drawings, and just a number of different things that they were asking for as though I were building a building. I'm trying to do simple renovations to get us back up and running.
Flooring,
and
paint, lights.
They're requiring us to do a number of things that someone who is building a structure would need to do. For the type of work I'm trying to do, it doesn't require everything that they were listing. They wanted to come in and do a occupancy inspection. I didn't request the occupancy inspection, and so I said, no, you cannot do it.
Because what they were trying to do is come in and write you up for everything.
Absolutely, to shut me down. When we were closed down for 2 weeks because we had flooded, there was a mother who drove up with 3 kids in the car asking if we were open because she didn't know how she was going to feed her kids. That is what matters to me.
If you could say a direct message to Tiffany, what would you say right now?
It's really unfortunate that you sit in a seat of yes, power. In my eyes, you did not do the right thing. I have no idea why you chose to stop something that could benefit the community that you love. You grew here. Everybody else flew here. But I said to you when I met with you to see my heart and know that I want to help the community.
One way we fight corruption is with our vote, another way is with our dollar. I'm gonna donate $500 of my own money to this cause to keep this food pantry open and running so that the city can't squash her out of business, so she can help the people. I started the Rally Around Dr. Scott GoFundMe. I put $500 of my own dollars in. Let's flood this lady with money. Let's see what we can do as a YouTube community. And this is also a way to stand against Mayor Tiffany. Link is in my description. Let's blow her up. Thank you guys. Let's blow it up. Let's fund this, and let's give a big giant f you to the Mayor Tiffany. If you try to approach her township, her fortress, what happens?
The police gonna come and
I'm up for the challenge. Let's head over to her township and see if we can speak to her or people that might know more about this story.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck on that.
If you need bond money, just call me.
Hello there. as you can tell, some of the city officials don't want to talk about what's been going on, but let's talk about the motorcade that Tiffany uses to roll around town like she's some sort of crime boss. We did some digging and we found the receipt from the car dealership that Tiffany leased these Tahoes from. On just one of these Tahoes, with a retail price of $93,000, Tiffany overpaid by nearly $56,000. I don't know if she's the worst negotiator on the planet or if there's something fishy going on here, but this is a shining example of how Tiffany has failed the hardworking taxpayers of Dolton. It's purchases like this that has led the town to be millions of dollars in the deficit. We're probably not going to be able to talk to many of these people because they know that they're guilty, allegedly, but let's go into the township and see what we can find. I love bringing justice to a city. Is Mayor Tiffany, would you say, a hero or villain?
Hero, of course.
Why is that?
Everything she's promised, she's done. You get the garbage picked up properly. There are a lot of improvements. Like
Nice.
She has an amusement park for the kids on Greenwood Avenue.
Are you a citizen? Are you an employee of the city?
I'm a citizen. Yeah, I've lived here for almost 32 years.
Because we talked to some people who are really upset about some of her spending. She's buying $150,000 vehicles, the fact that she's bought an ice rink basically for herself. The naysayers are saying some really damning things about her. What do you think about that?
There's this drumbeat to try to remove her. I don't know if it's because of her youth or what it is.
So would you say financially she's spending the taxpayer money appropriately?
I think so.
Why do you think the FBI is in town right now?
There's a lot of hubbub and a lot of stuff going around, people talking, and me personally, as a citizen of the city, I haven't seen anything overt.
We just talked to business owners across the street in that strip mall that are not getting permitted and licensed to open up things that will help the community. A lot of these people are saying because they don't donate directly to her campaign, you get stripped of your business license or you're not granted a business license.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. If there's such a thing going on, I'm against that for sure. I'm hearing a lot of allegations, but I have not seen anything concrete.
Hello, sir.
Hey, good. How you guys doing?
Oh, good. We're just doing a story. We've heard controversy about the mayor, and we're here to see if she's a hero or a villain. What is your take, sir?
No, I don't have a take. I'm saying, what are you here for? You're just taking.
We're running a video right now.
But you got to get permission to do that.
In a public area, sir?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. This is a public area, huh?
Okay.
Which means you get to film in public. There she is, right there. Oh, is this a public area?
Yeah, but we don't. You have to get permission to take pictures of people here. You cannot be in here.
Wait, isn't this a public area though?
You can't be with the cameras. Come on out. Come on out.
Wait, is this a public area?
Come on out, gentlemen.
Can you ask that
Sir,
question?
step out, please.
Is this a public area?
Sir, please step out.
I don't think this is legal.
Sir?
That's a police officer saying that. Sir, can you explain to us a little bit?
I will not.
The man you see here is Deputy Chief Lacey. While you might look at him and think he's a Walmart version of Detroit urban survival, he actually is a man with a disciplinary report thicker than the Bible. He currently has 3 active lawsuits against him. All 3 of them allege violations of the Constitution for the acts he is committing. Let me share some of his past actions with you so you can get a picture of the man he is. Let's start with his petty incidents. One of his reports details him threatening the water company over a $300 bill he didn't want to pay. He's also known for trying not to pay tolls when he drives through them. But things get more serious. Many residents have banded together to note his excessive use of force and his use of the taser. In a 2012 incident, he was sued for 4th Amendment constitutional violations due to excessive force. Lacey lost this case and the judge ordered payment of $12,000 for the incident. In the summer of 2021, 19-year-old Alexis Wilson was shot 7 times and killed by Dolton police. Her mom emailed us twice, pleading with us to expose Officer Lacey. Activists Carlos West and Rabbi Michael McLennan protested this killing 7 days later, exercising their constitutional right to free speech. However, their rights were violated by Officer Lacey once again when he ordered their arrest without due cause. They filed a lawsuit, and on March 4th, both of these men were awarded $50,000 in settlements. This is one of Mayor Tiffany's lead lapdogs that she uses to control the town through his goonish actions. Another case he was involved in resulted in the largest settlement in Cook County history, $33.5 million.
You guys step over there on public property.
This is not public property. Okay. Where is the public property?
Have a good day.
Can you not answer my question, sir?
Do you have ID? In Illinois, you have to have ID. Do you have ID? May I see it, please?
What is the thing you suspect us of doing?
In a minute, I'm asking you.
This is a public taxpayer area that we're now being
Step over here, sir.
hassled.
Step over here.
The goons have come out.
Okay. Here we. Oh.
This is quite a response for people doing a story.
Keep walking, sir.
How many police vehicles are coming for this?
What exactly are you guys trying to accomplish on this?
The mayor. Is she a hero or a villain?
No.
This is part of the convoy too, guys. The taxpayer-sponsored Tahoe's right there. At $150K for a vehicle. Oh wow. That's
Run me over.
I can tell you, sir, I'm not riding dirty in the slightest, so there's nothing you'll probably do.
Sir, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you have your guys sit in the car, please?
What? No.
You sure?
If you want us to do something off camera and I'm surrounded by 6 people, I'm not gonna about to do that.
Yeah, step back real quick.
Can you please tell me why you refuse to say what the public area is that you want me to go to? Tommy G, they call me. Milwaukee representative.
Everybody cams on?
In Milwaukee, you can literally steal a car and rob a bank and not this many cops show up. So once I come up clean, then what?
Who else got ID?
Coming back.
Hey,
State of Illinois, you're supposed to have ID.
go get your ID.
For what?
Come back. Hey, go get your ID. Unlock the car so you can get his ID.
It's not a request.
Oh, it's not a request.
Not at all.
You know you're liable, right? In Illinois.
For what?
Get it right. I know who you are. Got your information. Get it right.
That sounds like a threat.
Coming back, valid.
Hey, dude, nice job. You're valid, dude. Good for you.
I'm legal, so.
Okay, gentlemen, have a good day.
Are you gonna get in your vehicle? I'll get in mine, you get in yours?
Hey, go to your car. Have a good day.
What the f is going on, these motherfuckers?
I get into it.
We should probably before they like.
That's intimidation. This is why the trustees did not want us to come here. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Is this something that someone that's innocent would be doing? Look, business. Shut down, and shut down. Mayor Tiffany, when you go to jail, there will be many people applauding it.
I think there's only 20 police officers or something like that in Dolton.
Holy shit! That's wow! Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's Deputy Chief Lacey. He's the biggest jerk of all.
Officer Lacey, you want to handle this like a real man? I will pay you a week's salary. Any gym in Illinois or Wisconsin, I'll meet you there. I'll handle it like men. If I lose, I give it to you. If I win, I donate to charity. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna keep your little butt in the office. You're not gonna take up a real challenge. I don't with bullies. You try messing with the water bill company when they're trying to collect their bill from you. You try messing with the toll people. You have a long history, longer than a Harry Potter book, of you messing with the citizens of your city. Come here like a real man and sort it out, or you can stay your scared little butt in the office. You pick. You're built like a potato, all right?
Funny. I didn't even get to the part where
Is that
I tell
not a
you
public area?
that she's had me arrested.
What?
Yeah, for picking up her campaign literature off my windshield of my car.
You got cuffed?
Yes. 8 months of them continuing, the court hearing for the case to be dropped by the state's attorney's office for lack of evidence.
Was where we were public area?
Yes.
Inside and outside.
100%.
We were escorted out, made it seem like we were doing something illegal, taking our IDs, pressed. They wouldn't tell him that if we didn't give them our ID, they were gonna do something. He had threats to us. You've done the FOIA request. You have all the documents. What kind of stuff have you seen in those documents that catches your attention?
Things that stand out, obviously, are the travel. I mean, it's huge. About 2 trips a month, 3 to 6 days for every trip. I would say 95% of them are unrelated to the township. She went to Portland, Oregon for some conference called Her Voice, like a women empower leading other women to God. Anybody who knows when you're using taxpayer funds, when you start putting religion into it, it's a touchy situation because you govern in the township 190,000 voters. Not all of them believe the same thing you do.
How is she living when she goes on these trips?
It's outside of her own pay scale. That's how she's living. She's not living a $300,000 a year life like she's making. She's living a $1 million life because she's keeping her money and spending ours. You get a $600 per day per diem. You don't turn in receipts for those.
Which is very generous per diem.
You shouldn't be swiping the credit card for anything, ma'am. Why do I see all of your meals on here? Why do I see your hotels on here?
What kind of hotels is she staying at? Is it fancy?
Yeah, Hyatt, Hilton's, Four Seasons.
Four Seasons?
Oh yeah, you name it. Just the best of everything for her. Flying first class to Las Vegas. Her and Keith Freeman. I know the news didn't say that. He put out her $3,700 flight for herself.
She bought a $3,700 flight to Las Vegas?
But Keith Freeman's flight was the same amount. Her and Carmen Carlisle had, $1,600 flight to Atlanta.
Where is she eating? What kind of places is she going to when she eats on the road?
Steakhouses, lobster, anything you could think of that would be high-end dining. For the most part, that's where they're eating. Now, that looked a little different in their little bike ride to Springfield for her non-for-profit. On those trips, they stayed at Hampton Inn. They're bike riding, and they have a full-on DJ being pulled on a trailer behind them. I mean, they're blocking off streets for this.
What else is outrageous that you've seen now that you're privy to the books?
The amount of money she's spending on her PR. That's probably running Thornton Township about $25,000 a month.
So taxpayers, they're not only paying for the front end of all the bad stuff she's spending money on, but they're paying for the PR cleanup on the back end as well.
Absolutely.
What would it take to just remove her from office?
She was recalled. The residents voted to remove her from office.
What was the percentage vote to recall her?
It was about 56%. We were at about 1,900 to remove her and about 1,300 said to leave her.
Her salary is $224,000, but if she doesn't get reelected, the person that takes over would get $25,000, and that's a way to deter people from running against her?
The previous supervisor was in his 9th term. Now you can see the $200,000 salary because he worked for it for 32 years.
Yeah.
She keeps his salary because the law for township municipalities says if you take over his term, you complete the term. Whereas in a regular municipality, like if a mayor passed away and the board appointed somebody, the next municipal election, that mayor would have to run. That seat would be up. But in the township, it doesn't work that way. You finish the entire term. My previous boss had passed away 8 months into his term, so she had a full 3 years to finish. So she gets to keep his pay. What would happen though if she ran in 2025 and she won? She would have went to a first term salary. The pay scale was changed dramatically because she made it that she keeps the salary she has now. Anybody else goes down to 25. There's no more salaries by term. She removed that.
Is there anything positive you can say about the mayor?
I will say she has some ideas that I think are great. You know, the ice rink, it's beautiful. Visually, it looks nice. Had that been done right and had there been a plan in place, a plan for revenue, a plan, you know, for long-term maintenance, a plan on how we were gonna bring people out to make sure that the cost was covered at minimum. This could have been good things for the community. Because of the choice to always do things in a me manner, it never feels like it's for the community. All of the qualities that we see now that are like these big beast qualities, those were all there when she was just little Tiffany Henyard that was a trustee here in Dolton. They just magnified with the money and the power.
I got let go from the township. I was the maintenance manager for 20 years. I was getting ready to retire. I went on vacation. When I came back off vacation, I was locked out of my office. Was told that I had to see Keith Freeman for my keys. I sat up at the township 3 days in the lobby, getting paid, you know, waiting for my keys. And on the 4th day, I said, forget it. I just took 2 sick days. Then that Friday, I got a termination letter saying I was terminated.
And so your benefits from retiring, or did you not have access to that?
She didn't mess with that at all.
We got harassed by Officer Lacey. What can you say about him?
He's one of the mayor's lynchmen. He just got appointed that spot when the other police chief resigned.
Is there anything in the books that reflect that police officers are getting kickbacks from the mayor?
Oh, they're overtime. It averages about 100 hours a pay period for her security. The one he had 303 hours on one bi-weekly pay period.
Most of that at an overtime rate.
Yep.
A $13,000 check.
Absolutely.
And that's a cop or security guard?
That was her security guard.
Folks, this channel does not stand for bullies, so I'm happy to put out this piece about Tiffany and Officer Lacey. I hope that town gets cleaned up soon. And folks, just a reminder to contribute to Dr. Scott's GoFundMe. Let's help her out. And last thing, RIP mainstream media. The independents like me are taking over and they don't like that. You want to rep the movement? Go to the website. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Remember back then they ain't give a fuck about me, but now they all do cause they know who I am. I used to hit the block like every day. I would go by a Q and bust it down to grams. I got some niggas that switch off of trapping and rich off of robbing and doing some scams. I got the whole fucking city behind me. They say I'm the GOAT, now I need me a lamb. I got this shit popping out of the creek. Remember back then I ain't know where I be. Constantly thinking about death or prison, cause I did a whole lot of shit in these streets. I was the one robbing all of the plugs. Go ask them folks what they heard about me. I'm really living this shit that I rap. I don't gotta write this shit down on the sheet. I'm really different, I'm not from this planet. I spit the real shit, they can't understand it. Been in the cup, but don't need me no bandage. I be off the drugs so my feelings can vanish. I've been through a lot, I'm emotionally damaged, but I just worked through it and made this shit happen. I think about my son and he keep me from slacking. Ain't no way in hell I'll ever be a has-been. I hit that block just to get to the money. You hit that block.
Folks, hope you enjoyed this episode. You want to watch another? Here. You want to subscribe? Over here. See you next week.